Welcome back across the temporal rift to the current place in space, the Captain's Quadrant. I am your co-host, Joe Dove, Joe Dark Dove, because I'm in a new place and I have a new setting, but I'm still your captain. And with me, as always, is Ensign Jason. How are you,
Captain,
sir? How are
very
you?
good, mate. Very, very good. Really excited to talk about this episode of Picard.
Yes, episode 3, season 2, Assimilation. Picard and the crew travel back to 2024. This is the episode summary. Into Los Angeles in search of one person who can help them identify the point at which time diverged. Oh man, what an episode. This was a classic, reminded me similar of the. We're going to hop right into the pros and cons right away, but I did enjoy this episode. I felt like
Oh,
it.
did you say we're doing pros and cons?
Oh yes, let's
We're
do the
going to do
pros.
the lead-in image.
Here we go. Pros and cons. Cons being data lore. I love this. This imagery is fantastic. But one of the pros that I had, it kind of reminded me of Star Trek for the Voyage Home, when they went back in time for the whales. It gave me a little bit of that when Annika slash Seven appeared in front of the little girl. Are you a superhero? I thought that was excellent. But before we get into that, rest in peace, Elnor, Space Legolas. Didn't
They
make
killed Space Legolas, man. I'm
it.
not happy about it.
No,
They
that's
killed him, man.
that is
He's
really.
toast. No more Space Legolas.
I think that's the biggest con of the episode. I mean, I didn't
Yeah,
expect
it
it.
is.
It was a pro and a con, if that could be.
Well, here's my issue with it, Joe, is the
Mhm.
fact that, I felt like in the first episode, especially in the second episode, they felt like they were going to go, no, we're going to develop this character now, even though, we kind of short shifted him in the first season. We only got really only a slice of him. We were going to develop this character, and then you've taken him away
Yeah,
as such. But, that's a con, but obviously the pro is that it creates a good emotional arc
Raffi.
for Raffi now.
Yeah,
We have this like kind of plot motivation kind of going. But there's a lot to love in this episode, I will say that.
absolutely, absolutely. Another
Yeah.
big a pro for me is the way 7 of 9 Annika has been kind of identifying herself with the time period and the fact that she and her girlfriend were gonna go up to the space station so that they can get the signal
Yeah.
out. I thought that was very clever.
Yeah. Raffi says this line to her. Why do you look so relaxed? And I
Yes.
thought it was such a telling bit of dialogue because, yeah, 7 is for the first time feeling complete. She feels whole, and obviously we get that little scene in the mirror where she is
Yeah, she's
touching it and she's looking at herself and she's
she
liking what she's seeing. And I
right.
think that's very conflicting for her because she knows she's on a mission. She knows where if they succeed in this mission, where she'll end up back. So it must be slightly conflicting for it. But yeah, I love what they're doing with that emotional struggle that she's having.
Right.
Yeah,
And
brilliant stuff.
yeah, this is great writing. And I think that the biggest pro of this episode is Dr. Agnes Jurati.
Oh, that scene. I know the scene you're referring to.
Yes, the
Well,
scene.
what a little mini performance for her to change
Yeah.
on a dime emotionally so quick throughout that scene. It was just
Incredible.
yeah,
Incredible.
her, and obviously we're talking about the moment where she connects with
The
the
Borg
Borg Queen.
Queen. Yes. And
Yeah.
she plays basically the old Muhammad Ali rope-a-dope. She
Yeah.
let the
Yeah.
Borg Queen in her mind. They had this plan to try to get the
Well, they're
Borg Queen.
rebooting her, aren't they? The
Right,
Borg Queen.
basically,
That's the
yeah, get the
idea.
Borg
Yeah.
Queen back online because
Yeah.
as they came into, and this is a big pro of the episode, as I said, as
Mm.
they came into the 2024 San Francisco, the ship obviously crash land
Yeah.
and takes the Borg Queen offline because she ended up connecting herself to the ship. I thought that whole sequence leading up to that was a huge pro
Mm.
because I felt like Alien 2 or Aliens when
Yeah.
you have the Borg Queen coming from behind the thing that just fell over.
Yeah. That was good.
It
Nice little, very, very horror inspired moment, wasn't it?
right. It was just creepy. And the way they did the design of this particular actress for the Borg Queen, where she has like holes.
Yeah, I love that. Along there and along there.
Right.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
It looks so cool. And it makes her look even more menacing.
I love who they've got playing the Borg. Is it Annie Wershing? I think her name is. She's playing the Borg Queen, and I'm really digging the way she's doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't you love the fact that how she was very monotone in that, but then when she's kind of she's smiling.
Yep. She's
like yeah,
I'm in control now. You know,
yeah,
she's got the whole,
you know.
Yeah, surprise. You're not
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think, which I thought was I really enjoyed? I didn't think I would, but I enjoyed it. Was Rios's little storyline. What's happening?
Yeah, Rios had a fun story.
I did laugh when they got him transported in midair.
Yeah, and he hits it and gets concussed.
Yeah.
Oh, and he hits every panel on the way down from the fire escape. I thought that was very clever because it's a way to get him in contact with a lot of the big issues that are going on in the States.
Well, that's what I was about to mention. From an outsider, I thought the social commentary about what's going on over there with you guys was very brave of them to do. I mean, you know, that not only are they talking about obviously your medical issues you have over there about insurances and medical access, but the bit with that was she arrives in the homeless where Raffi and they make the comment about the juxtaposition, how they can talk about hope in the future, yet here we are with homeless people in these kind of area, which is a massive problem for you guys. I know
it is.
Over there. It's the homeless. So
yeah, and especially in San Francisco because they have two. You know, we have the pandemic, but we also have a drug pandemic right now, and a lot
of opioid problem, isn't it?
Opioids. Yeah. A lot of people are prescribed pain medication that are opioids that are very addictive, and they basically force them. And you know, pharmaceutical companies are being sued left and right and losing.
Yeah, they should be, because at that point they're just no better than any other street drug dealer.
Yeah. But unfortunately, it's caused this, and I throw that back to Deep Space Nine, where they have this society of homeless that are living in between alleyways and the water aqueduct, in their own society, kind of like the Deep Space Nine episode where he was Gabriel Bell, and they blocked off that area of San Francisco. We're literally almost at that point here.
It's pretty crazy. But as a plot device to get them to go back to 2024, and like you said, it's very reminiscent of A Voyage Home.
Right.
I was concerned because I knew that was kind of coming up. I don't know if I remember seeing in one of the trailers it kind of alluded to that. And I honestly was concerned before watching this episode of what they would do. Would they just try to replicate that kind of same thing? Are they paying homage to it? And I'm thankfully can say that no, they are paying homage and they are using it to drive the story further.
Yep.
You know, and look, I shouldn't at this point. I think when I think of the episode standing back, I think the show this season, going back and looking back at it, I think to myself, wow, they've really simplified Picard. And sometimes that's a bad thing, but for Picard, it's a great thing.
Right.
They're going back to the basics here, mate. We're still, you know, Picard is a vibrant Picard, you know. We are there trying to solve issues, you know.
Right.
There seems to be more focus on the problem than the action. Right. To me, is when Star Trek is at its best. You know, you mentioned about Deep Space Nine. That show, very little action, so much juicy plot, and and there's always a problem they have to overcome. And I'm really, really enjoying. I can't believe I'm 3 episodes in, and I'm only nitpicking at this point.
Yeah,
like if we were doing this on season 1, we'd be having very long conversations, to be honest with you, about the big problems I'm having with it.
Yeah.
And I'm just not there with this season. I'm in a place of, I can't wait to see the next episode.
Right. I'm in the same boat. It's such a fantastic moment to be in space and time with you, to see this Picard season 2 and knowing that they're only going to do in one more season, so it has to wrap up. And
Yeah. No,
it
definitely growing the beard.
growing the beard indeed. And if you're already
Yeah.
going for me, I appreciate that.
There
Well, the
you
only
go.
problem for me on this whole episode would be the ships, the little space battle that they had in the very beginning.
Yeah.
I thought that it wrapped up too quickly.
Yes. Yes,
Uh,
I will agree with that.
you know,
I
it
thought the ships went down way too easily.
way too easily.
Like, honestly, I know they were, she knew where to aim.
Right,
But even, it's just, no, it's just,
right.
are you
It's
telling me in this Federation of the Confederation that their shields are that poor that they
not only
can't take
that.
one hit?
Right, and they supposedly obliterated the Borg to the point where they captured the Queen, and there's no Borg, and they're almost extinct,
Exactly.
and she's just able to. Boop, boop, boop. So
Yeah,
why did they?
in what is essentially a pirate ship, a space
Right?
pirate ship, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's not a Federation ship, is it?
No, it's not a Confederation ship. So
Confederation ship.
yeah,
Yeah.
Confederation ship. They're
Yeah.
so weak. And it was surprising, and I thought that was a weak point of this episode. It
Yeah,
was,
you certainly you are so right mentioning that, because now I think of it, I don't even think they did any kind of maneuver shots. It was literally, you see a shot of those three ships in the background,
wait,
pew pew, that's it.
boom, and
Boom, done.
the way they blew up was so cheesy too, and
It
there's no
was.
real way to tell if it blew up or because it just exploded right in one little centerpiece.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
very like, that's weird.
Yeah. It probably smacks of, holy shit, we don't have this shot. We need this shot. Let's get it in. We don't have much time.
Yeah,
And
maybe.
so it's like a last minute addition, because even with my, not a big fan of Discovery or anything, every bit of their CGI and space battles have been top notch. You cannot
Yeah,
criticize any of that. So
right.
yeah, I would say this is the first time in the modern area of Star Trek that I've seen a space shot where I'm like, this is like out of Next Generation, in the sense of, Next Generation didn't have the budget or the technology,
Right.
so they would do shots like that because that's what the best was at the time.
Right.
It's certainly not up to standard for this day and age.
No. And I thought
Yeah.
that was the biggest con of the episode.
Yeah.
Did you have any cons?
Look, I mean, obviously, killing off Space Legolas is breaking my heart. I
Oh,
think
wow.
I'm
It's
probably going to have to go
pulling
get
at the
counseling over this.
heartstrings there, my friend.
Yeah, I just can't live in a world where Space Legolas is dead, to be honest with you.
Oh.
No, but essentially, no, yeah, I think the same issues I had that you've had, I basically had. There is nothing else that stands out by me. In fact, like I said, I was very surprised, pleasantly surprised, that the 2024 storyline is working so well for me, which I wouldn't have expected. If I would have said to you, oh, great, Rios is going to a health facility, for the community, and he's now going to have a relationship with this, with the doctor, and there's a kid now, and he's probably going to have to be a father figure to this kid. But honestly, it all works well for me. And I think it just comes down to the pacing of the show, the way it's structured, the fact that even though we spend time with these, we're not spending too much time. We're cutting back to Picard,
Right.
and there's juiciness all the way around. And I'm really
there's
loving
so many.
that.
Each of the plot devices that are spiraling out are exciting.
Yeah.
Except
is it time? Is it time now?
Yes.
Is it time to do?
It is. Make it so.
Future speculations.
Indeed. So this is the section where we're going to go into what could possibly happen in the next episode.
Yes.
So
I think what the obvious is the Watcher, right?
Right. So I think that it's a misnomer. We're thinking that it's someone with some type of higher being, superpower, Q-esque.
Yeah.
But I think that's a misnomer. I think it's actually a Vulcan. I think it's
really.
Yes, and I could be way wrong, and you get to rag on me if I'm wrong next week. So you have that. You have my permission.
Well, you've got a solid theory, because they went out of their way to say, well, what they theorized in that episode was that, he must be an alien who shouldn't be there. He's kind of like undercover.
Yep.
So they have the assumption that it's an alien being on Earth.
I think it's the Vulcan that is basically cultivating Earth for first contact.
scouting, like doing the reconnaissance before they decide to make contact.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think where the temporal split is in normal time, that Vulcan just kind of was able to go under the radar, learn about the species, and move on. But in this particular fray, something happens, and they freak out about aliens. He's uncovered, and it splits the temporal vortex, and humanity becomes an anti-alien race, which is why I think they have this parallel between the refugees or illegal aliens, so to speak, from the South American continent over here in the United States.
Yeah, look, you're saying basically we're looking at a fascist concentration camp vibe here that kind of marries well into because you could make that parallel that a lot of the homeless who live in camps, it is very much in a way a societal
not only
concentration camp.
But the way our last president was handling illegal aliens, immigrants, it was a kind of concentration camp. They were putting people in inhospitable places. I can't really speak on it, but you know, it's similar to a concentration camp. So that's why.
Mind you, can I just say as an Australian again too, and I've seen a little bit of American political pundits on there. No one ever in our country, because of COVID rules, was ever put into a camp. It never happened. It doesn't exist. There's been a lot of reports about it. We laugh about it here in Australia. That you guys think that we were gathering people out of their homes and putting them in concentration, camps because of COVID. It never happened, guys.
Wow.
All right. You know, what Star Trek has more truth and logic to it than that story. Put it that way.
Wow. Wow.
Sorry, I just had to throw that in there because it is
that's
kind
great.
I see these clips all the time. My God, Australia, it's you're living under a fascist regime. No, we're not. I just voted yesterday in a free democratic election, and we changed leaders. The current government was overthrown, and was voted out, and we've got a new form of government in. So,
is it?
It's funny how the media distorts, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
very true.
And that's commented coming back to Star Trek. That is commented in that shot with those concentration camp there, and then the background that big billboard about the missions to Europa.
Right.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting, isn't it? So, but I think you've got the best theory there is out there of what's going to happen next week. My theory was as simplistic as dumb as I reckon it's Brett Spiner coming back playing an ancestor of. Or playing, maybe the father of, or the great-great-great-great-grandfather. Well, I don't know how far it goes back. A Noonien Singh relative of some sort.
Oh, that's a good theory too. Because
but it's not the alien theory though, is it? And they really went out of their way to say it was an alien presence. And whether they're completely wrong, I don't know. But I think it would make far more sense so far what we're seeing that it would be a Vulcan.
Yeah,
because a Vulcan could hide themselves. They could put a beanie on, to hide their ears,
or a bandana,
or like exactly what Spock did. In Voyage Home. So
that's why I mentioned Voyage Home in the beginning because that set up my whole theory. You see what I did there? I let it.
Yeah. Can I just point out something small about this episode that kind of blew my mind? And Leah Thompson.
Yes.
Directed this episode.
It's Women's History Month here.
Yes. And isn't it amazing that Leah Thompson, who I grew up watching films with, she
was Back to the Future.
Back to the Future, Howard the Duck, a few John Hughes films. I think Something Kind of Wonderful she was in.
Yeah.
To a movie called Casual Sex, to a lot of films that she did in the 80s. She was huge. So to see that she's been able to bring all that expertise in directing this episode, she did a great job.
She did a fantastic job.
And apparently she directs the next episode as well. So
great. So we get to a 2-for-1. There we go.
Absolutely. And it's the same as Star Wars as well. I reckon one of the two greatest Star Wars actually, in the Star Wars TV show, they have lots of great directors. But how good is Deborah Chow? And how good is Bryce Dallas Howard?
Yeah, Bryce is fantastic.
I know that's crossing the franchises, but we are talking women's history or women's appreciation month. Yeah, amazing directors.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even the director of Wonder Woman has done an amazing.
Yeah, let's not talk about Wonder Woman 84, but Wonder Woman, the first film,
Yeah,
and the
first
movie Monster, she's incredible director.
Yeah.
But when you got a villain that I make your wishes come true, I'm out.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Awful. Imagine they run into like mud or something like that. That's the villain.
oh,
Highlighted with somebody very obscure.
yeah. I mean, they've
Sorry,
used mud a
Mud.
few times now. Rainn Wilson. What do you think of Rainn Wilson playing mud?
Ray Wilson does a great job playing Harry.
Yeah, I think so. I think he really does. So
Yeah. I'm assuming he's going to end up in Strange New Worlds.
He'd have to be, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
And also, that was big news this week too.
Yes,
Is the fact, and I'm not sure if I've actually got the story here, and I'll actually share it while we're talking about it.
Sounds good.
Is they've cast a new Captain Kirk.
Yes, Paul Wesley.
Paul Wesley to play Captain Kirk in Strange New Worlds, a show that we will be doing coverage of later on down the track. And what do you think about this, Joe?
I'm excited and nervous all at the same time.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because
I am too.
I was excited because we're going to get to see what Captain Christopher Pike was going to do.
Yeah.
Captain of the Enterprise. And I thought the whole series was going to be about him. But now coming to find out that Kirk is in season 2 means, are we killing Pike off again?
Is that what's happening? This show has to be at least 6. I mean, I would have thought 6, 7 seasons of just his stories, because we know that he was captain of the Enterprise for like 9 years, wasn't he?
Yeah. He had the captain's chair the longest.
For the longest. So, like, I can imagine in the season 6 that you introduce a Kirk.
Yeah. But
so early on, I am concerned about. I'm also concerned on the fact, mate, that we've currently just had big press out that they're making Star Trek 4.
Right.
Without letting the actors know about it first, of course.
Yeah.
But, so we've got still, the public's going to have an impression that Kirk's still Chris Pine.
Right.
And now you're going to have a TV version of Kirk. You're going to have a movie version of Kirk. And I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah. I mean,
absolutely.
My future speculation with that one is they're going to probably button up the Kelvin timeline. They're going to end up fixing the atrocities from the Nero.
Yeah.
I have a feeling they're going to just bow it up.
Okay.
Yeah. And then this is going to be, okay, now we're back to a regular Captain Kirk.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, whatever they're going to do to fix it, get some continuity going again. And, I think that'd be great. But you know what? That sounds too neat. This was a great overall for this episode. Fantastic. Picard season 2 is hitting the high marks that I wanted it to hit. So I am thrilled, and I can't wait for next week, mate.
And like you said, besides growing the beard, it has not plateaued. It keeps.
And it definitely hasn't jumped the shark.
And it hasn't jumped the shark.
So, there you go.
This is
fantastic.
All right. Well, I think that wraps it up, unless you want to mention anything else, Ensign.
No. Obviously, just to follow us, obviously, I'll let you do the plug, but just remember that you can not only find us here watching us, but on podcasts as well, as the captain will instruct you on where to find us and how to reach us, and not just here at Specs Santorium, but to be seen and pop culture spread.
Absolutely. We are so excited that you have spent the time in our deep dive discussion of Assimilation, Season 2 of Star Trek Picard, Episode 3. I am Captain Dove, and with me, as always, is Ensign Jason, and we appreciate your time, your quandaries, and your moments to discuss the discussions that we've had for this episode. But please, don't let the fun end there. Make sure you like, comment, and share on this, and do us a favor. Check us out on Spotify and on Apple Podcast. You can subscribe, like, and share, rate, and share all of those wondrous things there, but don't let it stop. There's just so much, because this partnership goes beyond space and time across thousands of miles on this planet Earth. Make sure to subscribe to Pop Culture Spread and tobeseen.com. Follow us on all those wonderful socials, including Twitter, Instagram, and of course, YouTube. And there's so much more to come. We can't wait. We're having a blast. And just engage us. Start chatting with us on Twitter. And we're going to make it so.
Fantastic. See you guys.
See you.